You're watching The Ryan Silverfield Show, presented by AutoZone.
Game 2 down, first road trip out of the way, how the Tigers got into that road mentality, plus how some walk-ons turned into scholarship players. We'll take a look at Mississippi State. That's all right here tonight on The Ryan Silverfield Show.
The game is on.
The Ryan Silverfield Show is presented by AutoZone. When you've got car trouble, you want help from number one. So if you've got a battery problem, head to AutoZone, America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone, AutoZone. And by Conway Services, the official HVAC partner of Tiger Athletics. Chick-fil-A, we didn't invent chicken, just the chicken sandwich. RJ Young, technology solutions that power your business. Tennessee Lottery, turning dollars into dreams.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the fabulous Memphis Indoor Facility for this week's edition of the Ryan Silverfield Show. I'm Dave Willoshin.
And I'm Jarvis Greer. Boy, what a game it was in Jonesboro against Arkansas State. For the highlights, let's go to Cassie Carlson.
70 miles separate Memphis and Arkansas State, but what separates the programs more than anything, a win when the two meet up. It's the 60th time these two teams have played each other, but it's the first dose of Arkansas State for Memphis quarterback Seth Hennigan in just his second game. He gets the support of Calvin Austin III not even 2 minutes into the game before the Red Wolves defense realizes, yeah, they can't catch Cal. 55-yard touchdown in stride. Sean Dykes getting in on the action. Hennigan hits him up the middle. He is in for the score. 2 touchdowns for the tight end. Weapon U comes alive for the Tigers then. Brandon Thomas, the new starting running back, solidifying his spot on the depth chart. A 70-yard run for a touchdown will do just that. And that wasn't his only one. Guys, look at this run. He squeezes through the gap, gets to the outside, and he is gone. He tops his first with a 75-yard touchdown. Back-to-back games with more than 100 rushing yards for the redshirt freshman. Here's the duo of Hennigan and Austin again, snagged by 4 on the slant. He runs for his second touchdown. The vet finishes with 3 TDs, keeping cool under pressure. His 239 receiving yards in the game, second in school history behind Anthony Miller.
He was a senior my freshman year here. So, just kind of like watching him, how he practiced and some of the numbers he put up, it was always, obviously when I was that young, it was always a dream to go out in the future and just put up some big performances and big games. So, honestly, I'm just blessed, man, because it's just, I'm just blessed to just be in this position and to just have a great support and team around me.
This game was close at the end. Arkansas State down 5 with 4 seconds left on the clock. They throw up a Hail Mary and it is swatted away by Quindell Johnson. 105 points scored in this game. The Tigers on top in a 55-50 win. Seth Hennigan, 22 of 33 for 417 yards, 5 touchdowns, and no interceptions for the Tigers. Here's Jarvo and Wolo with Ryan Silverfield after the game.
College football seems to always be an adventure. Your team was able to eke it out.
Yeah, look, every game's going to be tough. And to find a way to win, that's all that matters. It doesn't matter if it's 1 point, 100-point difference. But, look, tough Arkansas State opponent. But our boys, at the end of the day, found a way to win the game. And we'll take it and get on the bus and head home.
680 yards, so many touchdowns, over 50 yards, so many big plays starting with your freshman quarterback.
Yeah, look, I'm pleased with Seth. We all know that he's got a very bright future, but he's showing what he's capable of. And I think the biggest thing for him is being in control of this offense, understanding what we're able to do, standing in the pocket, being able to deliver the football. All those things are what you want to see. And more importantly, right, when it's not there, throwing the ball away and making great decisions.
What you've seen out of your wide receiver core with Calvin Austin, 239 yards. We believe that's the second most yardage of an individual in Tiger history in a single game. The things that he does that really helps open up your offense.
Yeah, no question. Look, we knew Calvin had speed, and guess what? Having those weapons certainly helps a true freshman quarterback, and Calvin's no different. And everyone said, well, he didn't get as many touches as he should. Look, that's the nice thing. Like Sean Dykes had a big night tonight. Calvin had a big night, and that's where the explosiveness comes in, right? Even if it's a 3-yard pass to Calvin, we know he's capable of taking the yardage, and quite pleased with our receiving core tonight, but we can continue to get better.
You have to feel good about your running game, too, especially BT Express, Brandon Thomas. Goodness gracious, what can't this kid do?
Well, look, he came back to his home state of Arkansas and had to put on a show, averaging over 10 yards a carry. And look, we know he's a big, tough runner, but tonight he showed a little bit of his explosiveness and breakaway speed. But again, in essence, a true freshman in my opinion. He really didn't play football at all last year, much for the Memphis Tigers. So to get him to see a freshman quarterback out there, it kind of warms the heart. But look, a lot of work to be done, but it's good to look back there and see those two.
It is never easy to win on the road. And Coach talked about that earlier in the week, about the mental preparation and the physical prep too. Coaches always talk about preparing for everything. So, Coach, your mindset as you get ready to go on the road.
Yeah, I think it's a different type of approach. Our guys have to understand that the focus level has to be intense, right? Everything has to be dialed in, detailed, from the time we travel, when we get on buses, whether we get on planes, whatever it may be, they've got to be locked and loaded and understand. There's more distractions when you're on the road, right? New atmosphere, fans booing, different type of crowd noise, all those things that go into it, a smaller locker room. Our guys have to understand that, hey, none of that matters. It happens, what happens between the white lines, and our preparation will lead us to the victory that we need.
Are you a player, when you were a player and now that you're a coach, did you like playing on the road? Did you like to be in the behind enemy lines, so to speak? And do you have some guys on the team that kind of like that atmosphere?
Well, I think we always appreciate, look, we love the Liberty Bowl, and it's great to be around our fans, so I'll never want to be outside of those lines. But anytime you have the opportunity, especially to travel to a place like Jonesboro and play against a local team, I think that's always important and fun. And I think that's part of it. Our guys enjoy that aspect. There's some beautiful stadiums, especially in our conference, we have the opportunity to go. But yeah, sometimes you love hearing the fans boo, and then you like to take it to them, and then when you score, you just say, okay, let's keep giving it to them, keep giving it to them.
I know you like to talk about the distractions that you have to overcome. Sometimes fitness level, the aspect of really being in great shape overcomes like mental fatigue. Where are you at with that?
Yeah, I think that's part of it, right? So much of our preparation from January all the way up until today has led us to be able to play at a high level. So, right, when you do get physically tired, you hope the mind stays strong, right? That you're able to be dialed in and detailed to what the assignment calls for. And so that's why we train so hard. And that's why we practice really hard during the week. So when game day shows up, right, it shouldn't be any harder than the practice. And I think that's part of that preparation key, right? We got a great strength and conditioning staff, but the way we do things, the way we've scheduled everything is so we can be dialed in and detailed that when game day occurs, we're good, and we don't worry about it, conditioning or aspect of being able to go out there and perform at the highest level.
One thing about that, when you go out there and you're playing games, once the season starts, we know how hard you work, we know how you do things in the off season, but when the games are coming, how do you differentiate between really pounding them hard and then you got to ease up on them, make sure they got their legs ready so they can go out and perform?
Yeah, that's the great thing, right? How do you find that equation, right? You want to work, and you got the work to do to prepare for what Saturday will entail. But you also want your guys fresh. And so we've done a lot of studies. One of the things I learned in the NFL is, right, take care of your guys once the season gets going. We work really hard in the off season. We work really hard in training camp. And the meat and potatoes of our practices are on Tuesdays, Wednesdays. We get after our guys. But really come Thursday, we actually do a walkthrough on Thursdays. And then we do what we call Fast Friday. We're on the field for only 1 hour, and we actually put the shoulder pads back on Friday. So, all those things, we've done some scientific research. People a lot smarter than I am that have done this in the past that have that understanding of what can you get to your peak performance come kickoff. And all that entailed, I think we found the right formula, and we got to keep it going that way.
Some of the best stories are walk-ons, and we're talking to 3 of them after the break who are using their experience at Memphis to find success on and off the field.
You're watching The Ryan Silverfield Show, presented by AutoZone.
There's 3 things Joey Magnifico, Alan Cross, and Marquavius Weaver all have in common. They're all from the Grind City, they all put in the hard work, and they all went from walk-ons to scholarship players. There's a motto among tight ends at the University of Memphis. They call themselves the Mud Gang.
Man, you got to fight and you got to dig through anything and get out of it. And so that helps me out with life when adversity hits.
For Memphis alum Joey Magnifico, that mentality stuck with him from the moment he stepped on campus as a preferred walk-on.
I believed in my talents, and I knew what I could do, and I came here, and the rest is history.
History, literally. From coming in as a linebacker, Magnifico finished his career as the tight end with the most receiving yards in school history.
What does it take to get there?
One thing about Memphis that I loved is they don't treat anybody differently. If you're a walk-on or if you're the star player, they're going to treat you how you should be treated. There's a family here.
After his career at Memphis, he started preparing for the NFL draft. He went through the process and never got a call.
Just that part of being overlooked just gives you that dog and that little hungriness inside you to keep going and keep pushing. And so when I was going into the NFL draft, COVID hit, all the adversity hit, and just for me to keep my head and keep going was testimony to where I've been.
When one door closes, another one opens. Over the summer, Magnifico was hired as the head coach at his alma mater, St. Benedict at Auburndale, at just 24 years old.
No, as far as dream job, I mean as coaching. Wherever life takes me, it takes me. But I know at the end of the day, I'd like to coach. If it's high school, if it's college or NFL, either way, I know that developing kids and their future is where I want to be.
Before Magnifico, Alan Cross was the breakout tight end for the Tigers from just up the road in Millington.
I was going to go to Arkansas State, but at the last minute, I just decided to stay home close to my dad and really just stay here and save some money, try to a little bit.
Cross and his dad together took out a $40,000 loan so he could go after his dream of playing college football. From day one, he says his goal was to be put on scholarship.
How did you get there?
Putting good tape out every day, just trying to get better at something, trying not to make the same mistake twice.
After 3 years of proving himself on the field, while still finding a way to make ends meet off the field, Cross got the call.
Matter of fact, I was out here cutting field 3, cutting grass. I was working for the grounds crew at the time, and Jeff Cupper gave me the call and said, hey, your papers are ready. And I hopped off that mower as fast as I could and sprinted over to ALB and signed my papers.
What was the feeling personally hearing that news?
It was awesome. It was awesome. I had to make my dad come, my boss came, everybody came. It was a little party over there. But it was something that it really held true in my heart, and it still does to this day. I still have that piece of paper up in my house, and I always look at it and remind myself that I started at the bottom and had to work my way up.
By the time he graduated, he was a 2-time all-conference tight end. Cross went on to play 2 years in the NFL with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Today, he's back with the Tigers as an offensive quality control analyst. He says he's back where he belongs.
What do you tell players now about your story?
Just work every day like it's your last day. Work hard now so you can play hard later. I retired at 25 years old. Not a lot of people can say that, but I learned that from when I was a kid from my daddy telling me that. Work hard now, son, so you can play hard later.
Cross and Magnifico's stories have been told a number of times, and current players are very familiar with their paths.
The traits that we all carry is hard work and dedication. You're not going to come here and think you're going to be handed a scholarship if you don't work hard.
Current Tigers running back Marquavius Weaver is in his first season as a scholarship player. After 4 years of hard work, he was rewarded this spring.
Coach Silverfield, he actually played a prank on me. He told me to come to his office. I got to his office, I knocked on the door. I had 4 awkward knocks. And so after that, he told me to come in. He had a little frown on his face. He told me to sit down. I thought I was in trouble, but I didn't understand, like, how could I be in trouble, because I don't really do anything, bad off the field. And so we got to talking about life and things like that. And after that, he just said, you know what, you're on full-ride scholarship. And I just froze a little bit. I was like, Coach, I appreciate you. I'm all in from here on out.
And who's the first call you make?
My mother.
What was she like on that call?
I think she kind of cried a little bit, to be honest with you.
Weaver is from Bartlett, and like Cross and Magnifico, he wanted to stay close to home. His steps to success include handling his business off the field.
The main thing for me was academics. I took care of my business in the classroom. After that, coming to meetings, to breakfast, to weigh-ins, weightlifting 5 minutes on time, and just continue to encourage and push my colleagues around me. So that kind of helped me set me up for success to receiving a scholarship.
When Weaver graduates, he wants to become a successful real estate agent and eventually own his own firm. He has no doubt playing for Memphis has set him up to do just that.
Memphis football it's amazing. Like, there's no place like Memphis. Like, I don't know what other schools are like, but I can tell you now, like, there's no place like Memphis, Tennessee, like the Memphis Tigers. Memphis set me up for success off the field, even before I started playing, even before I started, getting my scholarship and things like that. Is tons of people who come talk to us, like motivational speakers. You shake hands with those guys are successful. So you show your face, you do what you're supposed to do on and off the field, everything else will fall into place.
That walk-on program is incredible when you think about it. Coach, did you know Jarvis Greer was a preferred walk-on?
The legends of legends. I mean, we're sitting in front of Glory right here himself, and that, the walk-on story of him and what his success that he had not only on the field but off the field just speaks volumes of what this university can do for you.
Being a former walk-on, when you come in here and you see, there's all the talent, you have to put out more than the guys around you that are here. They're already getting their scholarship taken care of.
Yeah, I think you look at it, right? We want those guys with a chip on their shoulder. We talk about it all the time. But you got guys like Calvin Austin, Alan Cross have come in, Markavius Weaver, with that chip on their shoulder and say, we're going to outwork everybody, right? I'm going to prove myself. And if they come in and do that day in and day out, they've tended to have had a lot of success here. And that's one of those reasons why our walk-on program's been so great, because we're equal opportunity employers. Anybody that can come in and play, we're going to throw you on the field. And it's great. We've had so much local talent that's had a lot of success here because of that.
How do you look at it when, guys want to come into the program? Is there a way that you pick and choose, or you say, no, I want you to come in, I don't know if you got a chance here? How do you do that?
Well, first and foremost, when we're looking at that, character is always the main thing, right? And if they've got the right type of mindset, the work ethic, they generally give themselves a chance to come in and compete, right? And whatever that looks like, we know they can help out our team, right? If they got the right mental makeup and willing to work. And then we look at it and say, what's their skill level like? And a lot of these guys have come here and developed over time. Calvin Austin certainly wasn't the polished receiver he is today that he was 4 years ago, but he's worked and put in the day-to-day deals and details and what he needs to do, and now he's a bona fide star, just like all the walk-ons before him. So you find a little bit of things that you like about them and see if they continue to work, and a lot of these guys have come out looking like gems.
So really their success is more they work their tail off when they get here and develop, as opposed to a bunch of people, not just Memphis, misidentified who a scholarship player is.
What happens is a lot of these guys are also late bloomers, right? Maybe a product of what high school they came from, or maybe they weren't used in certain things, right? Antonio Gibson, I told our team the other day, Antonio Gibson didn't start any games as a junior here at the University of Memphis. It wasn't really till almost halfway through his senior year that we found out what Antonio was, and he's not a walk-on, but that's just a prime example as guys continue to develop and get better throughout their careers.
All of those lessons apply to the entire team, and that will be put to the test next week as the Tigers host Mississippi State out of the SEC. We'll preview that matchup coming up next.
You're watching The Ryan Silverfield Show, presented by AutoZone. Let's take a look at the AutoZone road ahead.
The road ahead is at home, and it's against an SEC opponent, and you've got Mississippi State.
Yeah, look, opportunity to be back in Liberty Bowl in front of our great fans. We know it's going to be an awesome crowd. Can't wait to feel the electricity of the 3 o'clock kickoff game versus Mississippi State. It's without being said, they've got a fantastic offense. They can strike and score at any time. Plus, guess what? Their defense has been one of the best in the country. So we know we're going to have our hands full, but we're quite excited and ready to roll.
Speaking of getting jacked up, you know they'll be excited. The fans crazy, as you said, but how do you make sure you temper that so they still get the execution that you want?
Yeah, I think that's part of it. I've never worried about our guys coming out and playing with high effort. I think that's one of those things we always talk about that's non-negotiable. The reality of it is just trusting their training. And we prepped all week and understanding that, hey, this is the opponent that we're going to face. How are we going to do it and how are we going to handle it? But we talk about that and say, look, the atmosphere is going to be electric. You're going to be jacked. You're going to be pumped. But how can you play within yourself? How can you play under control at a high level and execute and understand your assignments regardless of what this atmosphere is, knowing good and well that you're going to be fired up and ready to roll?
That was tonight's AutoZone Road Ahead. AutoZone, America's #1 battery destination and official sponsor of Tiger Athletics. Get in the zone, AutoZone.
The Bulldogs and those cowbells should be quite a scene. We'll wrap it up in just a minute.
You're watching The Ryan Silverfield Show, presented by AutoZone.
That's our show. Thanks again for joining us. We'll see you at the Liberty Bowl on Saturday and then right back here on Sunday night.
The Ryan Silverfield Show is presented by AutoZone. Next time you need a car battery, just pick it up. Visit AutoZone.com and select same-day store pickup. Just one reason why AutoZone is America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone, AutoZone. And by Conway Services, official HVAC partner of Tiger Athletics. Chick-fil-A, we didn't invent the chicken, just the chicken sandwich. RJ Young, technology solutions that power your business. Tennessee Lottery, turning dollars into dreams. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation of the University of Memphis Sports Network. This copyrighted telecast is an exclusive presentation of Learfield under the broadcasting rights granted by the University of Memphis. Reuse of this presentation is prohibited without the expressed written consent of the University of Memphis and Learfield.